Good morning. Let's take a look at the middle state. Middle state between opposites. Yeah. The mind will say the middle state does not exist. Because you have to either be man or woman, or happy or sad, or painful in pain, or in pleasure, or in, compassionate or callous. So are there occasions in your life, in your day, that you are neither opposites? Only when you don't think, you see? Only when you don't think. When you don't think I'm a man, you don't know you're a man. You accept everything as what is taking place. And that's the middle state, you see. You have no definition. You see, the middle state is inexplainable. It's unbelievable. It's intolerable for the mind. And it's classified as boredom. Because boredom cannot be categorized, but boredom cannot say it's not good, and boredom cannot be saying it's not bad. Boredom is just boredom. But then it's categorized, you see, when you try and describe boredom. Well, nothing's taking place. Well, nothing is the opposite of something, you see. It's the most confusing state. Therefore, it cannot be described. So what is the point of it, you see? The point of it is that's baseline. This is you are always middle state. You have not had a beginning and an end to your middle state. This is your infinite, immortal self that is appearing right now. In the present moment, with no thoughts, that's infinite you. But then if you take in a mind to say, well, what am I? So am I a body that's infinite? Am I a man that's infinite? These are opposing states. They have oppositions. A body and no body. Form and space. Body and soul. Time is the opposing states. Measurement, value, judgment, the opposing states. When you're on one side, you are opposing another side. But in fact, the speaker is suggesting there's three states. There's positive, negative, and middle. Balanced. Yeah. But in fact, when all of these states are not seen as individual states, they merge and they become one. Therefore, they have no name. They are indescribable. They are neither middle, left, nor right. And politics is based on middle ground, left and right wings. Is there a purpose of experiencing this middle state? Well, you cannot experience it with a mind, because the mind is the two left and right wings. The middle state is a witness, is the judge, that has no ability to speak or understand or communicate. So therefore, when a saint, when Christ or Buddha or anyone who has experienced this profound dissolution to left and right, and only middle exists, when they attempt, like the speaker is attempting now, to try and speak about it, it has to go into a left and right wing. It's not choosing or selecting which side. It just needs words and language to describe this. Is it intolerable then, you see? Well, it's intolerable for the fact that if you experience this non-experience of being in the middle state, then you have no association with this life, because all humans have this belief system that you have to be this or that, black or white, man or woman, happy or sad. But all humans are trying to remove these barriers. But in their attempt to remove the barriers, they're using the mind to remove the barriers. And the mind suggests that you have to go into a particular side to try and get into the middle. You see? When we're always looking from the middle, in silence. And in this middle state, is God found? No. Is consciousness found? No. What is found? Well, it's indescribable, you see. Because God would suggest it's in a positive state to most. And devil is the opposite of God. Christ, Antichrist. So to try and say it is anything, but to not try and say it is something, is that inability to speak, inability to project what it is, you see. That's why there are so many names that try and describe the pure enlightened being's state, or the pure out of mind state, beyond mind, beyond. Because all down the line of past history, many have came up with, how do I describe this? Because no one's going to be interested, you see. Well, why would someone be interested in the middle state if you know that there's no interest there for your own self? There's no movement here. There's no needs, desires, wants. There's no willingness or non-willingness to participate. Everything is just taking place, you see. You cannot remain in this middle state. There's not a body standing still in this middle state. This middle state is profound. Profound. You see, to try and say it's profound peace, profound emptiness, profound love, profound consciousness, profound godliness, it puts it into a category, and the only way you can describe it is to put it into a category, left or right, positive or negative. This is truth. Truth is silence, you see. Truth is what we are, without trying to discover what we are, without trying to understand what we are, without giving names to a thing that we are appearing in. You see, this is skin, right? Who gave it the name skin? What is it? What actually is it? You know, the mind suggests we need to identify things and call things names. And when anything is created, there has to be an opposite. Is this not scientifically proven to be true? When one thing is created, there has to be an opposite. When you create a cup, the space around it cannot be the cup. Yeah? So the space and form, when any form is created, space is created alongside it, the opposite. Yeah? When you try and create space, you cannot see space, you cannot understand space until you put something in the center to say, oh, look at the space that surrounds that thing. This is of no interest to mind. This is of absolute no interest to mind. Because if a speaker tries to promote the middle state, the mind wants to be promoted. It has to have some sort of practice, some sort of method. And all of these are going to be opposed So how is it done, you see? It cannot be undone. You're already that. Relying on a mind that is a two-way mind. And the only thing, and this is fine, live this life out without recognizing your middle state in the two-way mind. But the minute you try and resolve anything, understand anything, you're going to suffer. Because you're going to suffer the opposition. The idea, Buddha speaks about wholeness. What is wholeness? When the middle state and the left and right states all merge into one state. Yeah? And there is a noticeability that, oh, middle states still exist outside of what I am. And the middle state exists appearing to be inside of what I am. But there's no attachment, nor is there detachment. It is what it is. Life is what it is. So therefore, all of these states exist, still exist. So you don't disappear and say, well, I'm not going to be able to experience what the mind says is happiness, and what the mind says is joy and bliss and anger. I'm still going to experience them, but I'm not going to experience them because I will, if I want to experience them, I have to accept this external life and try and fit in to opposing states from all mind. If I don't want to participate, I simply ignore. And even this is taking two sides. Because it's only when the mind is active that the middle state and the two side states are born. The two side states are born to oppose each other, to get fed up and decide, I don't want any of this. I'm going inside. I'm going to hide. I'm going into the forest with Christ. I'm going to disappear. I'm not going to accept this world as what it is. I'm not going to fight against this world as what it is. I just want a little break. And for some, the break comes. And the gap appears, and you meet with something that is indescribable. And when you come back, you cannot not remember this indescribable that you are. And therefore you say, well, the two side states were of much value. Without them, I would have not experienced this most profound, indescribable self, or whatever it is that you want to make a name for it. So you value all three equally, but not as different, as one. And this is wholeness. This is holy. This is what all who are what they are in their totality use to describe what this is. Whatever this is one whole. And you cannot say consciousness. You can say consciousness, because I don't think consciousness has an opposite. I'm not sure. One whole existence. But you can say existence, because there's non-existence in the mind's makeup. The mind makes up the ideas that there is birth and death, that there is man and woman, that there is... These are names, identities. Yeah, we all can visualize there is unique differences through our sensory systems. But we don't have to define and divide by giving names, you see. There's only birth taking place. That's all that takes place. What's all you see when you're in your holiness, your whole self? Birth. Everything is being reborn, the breath reborn every single second, every moment. Reborn thoughts, reborn skin, reborn nature, reborn sun, reborn moon, reborn darkness, coming and going, reborn. When you say coming and going, you think it's dying, you see. You see? No, it's just being reborn, being reborn, being reborn, being reborn. It's the factory line of life, of that what is taking place. To try and analyze it and understand it, you stop the flow. You stop the flow. Whatever we are will not evolve. Well, we will evolve to this, what this speaker speaks about today, but in a time-based, organized, structured way through a mind system. And it will take centuries for some. But the minute you just let everything take its own course with no opposing or non-opposing, we would have already disappeared off this earth into some sort of paradise in heaven, in some sort of whatever state or transcendent life comes next. But we put spokes in the way, we put boundaries because we kind of like it here, you see. I don't want to move from here. I don't know what's coming next. I don't know what to expect. You see, these are all questions and answers from opposing states. Doubt. I have no faith in anything outside of this human existence. And humans do not exist independently of nature. We're all made of the same molecules and atoms. And to think that we are special and that we can remain and put our flag up and say this is our planet, and anyone who comes here will be destroyed, including nature, which we do every day, it will soon, it will not be an end of the world. It will just take centuries for what is supposed to take one moment, not a time moment, into transcending. So the wisdom from the speaker who speaks, having experienced all these things, is saying, we just have to wait for the rest. We just have to wait. And in time, it may take billions of centuries. But if something snaps within you, something suggests that, wow, I understand these opposing states are divisive, and that peace will never be found through this mechanistic way of trying to come to the table and meet and discuss through left and rights, or mans and womans, or black and white, or country and non, countries and words. You see, just words. It's facing up to the negative, that in your own left and right understanding, your intelligence that you have developed over the years, will you, in fairness, can you sit down and say, yes, we will be able to unite the whole world to be the same, like Adolf Hitler tried to do? Yeah. What way are we going to unite everything that has opposing values, opposing cultures, opposing skins, opposing needs, opposing desires, opposing, and the compassionate, sympathetic, systematic ego mind says, but we have to try, and through your trying, you will find that this defeat will be the most profound and wonderful surrendering to reveal what these words mean about you. Anyway, namaste. Have a great day in whatever state you're in. I'm in the morning walk state, sun is shining. Let's go for a morning walk state and become nature.